Hi everyone, in this video we are going to discuss how to complete the square. It is often beneficial to convert the equation of a circle to center radius form to easily read the center coordinates and the radius for graphing. In order to do this, we complete the square. Let's discuss the steps in order to complete the square. Here are completing the square steps. Step 1. Group terms together and move integer to the other side of the equal sign. Step 2. Coefficient for x squared and y squared must be 1. If not, divide every term by a common number. Step 3. Complete the squares for x values and y values by dividing the coefficient of x by 2 and then square the number going back up. Do the same for the coefficient of y. Add that new number to the other side of the equal sign. Step 5, factor each trinomial into two binomials. And finally, step 6, identify the center, think opposite, and the radius of the circle. Let's complete a practice problem. Identify the center and radius of the given equation, x squared plus y squared minus 4x plus 10y plus 20 is equal to 0. So the first thing I'm going to do is subtract 20 and bring it to the right-hand side. So I'm going to have x squared, and then I'm going to put the x's together. So I'm going to move minus 4x, and then I'm going to leave a space, plus y squared plus 10y, leave a space, is equal to negative 20. And you see I have two spaces on the left. I'm also going to have two spaces on the right. So all I just did was move the negative 20 to the right-hand side. I grouped the x's together, left a space. I grouped the y's together, left a space. I have two spaces on the left. I also need two spaces on the right because remember, it's an equation. Whatever you do to the left, you also have to do to the right. So next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the coefficient in front of the x divided by 2. So negative 4 divided by 2 is negative 2, and then I'm going to square it going back up. Negative 2 squared is a positive 4. I'm going to do the same idea to the y's. The coefficient in front of y is 10, so I'm going to do 10 divided by 2, which gives me 5, and then I'm going to square it going back up, which is going to give me 25. 5 squared is 25. I added a 4 and a 25 on the left-hand side, so I have to add a 4 and a 25 on the right-hand side as well. So notice now I have x squared minus 4x plus 4. I've grouped those together, and then y squared plus 10y plus 25 together. Now, I can actually factor x squared minus 4x plus 4. What two numbers multiply to 4 and add to negative 4, right? It's the AM method. That's going to be x minus 2 squared. What two numbers multiply to 25 and add to 10 when I'm looking at the y's? That's going to be 5. 5 times 5 is 25. 5 plus 5 is 10. So that's going to be y plus 5 squared is equal to, and then we have to add negative 20 plus 4 plus 25. So it's really negative 20 plus 29, which really gives me 9. Now I can easily identify my center. My center is going to be the opposite signs. So this is negative 2, so this is really going to be a positive 2. This is a positive 5, it's really going to be a negative 5. And the radius is the square root of whatever's on the right side of the equal sign. So the square root of 9 is really 3. So after completing the square, I'm able to identify the center, which is 2, negative 5, and the radius, which is 3. Next, I want to discuss completing the square multiple choice strategy. So what's great about having multiple choice questions is you don't need to fully complete the square. Instead, you can find the sine of the center and identify the length of the radius. So let's try an example. So here we have x squared minus 4x plus y squared minus 5 is equal to negative 8y. So the first step says all variables on the left side, integers on the right. So that means I'm going to add over the 8y to the left-hand side, and I'm going to move that negative 5 to the right-hand side. So let's add 8y over, and then let's add 5 over. So I'm going to have x squared minus 4x plus y squared plus 8y is equal to 5. Now notice here we're going to look at the signs in front of the x and y. So the sign in front of the x is a negative, and the sign in front of the y is a positive. Now you want to take the opposite signs of what you just wrote down. Those are the signs of the coordinates of your center. So now it's really going to be positive, comma, negative. And that's a great multiple choice strategy because you can always eliminate answer choices. Next, let's identify the radius. So here we have x squared minus 4x plus y squared plus 8y is equal to 5. First thing we're going to do, step 1, is divide the coefficients of x and y by 2. So the coefficient of x is that negative 4. So negative 4 divided by 2 is negative 2. And then the coefficient of y is 8. So 8 divided by 2 is going to give you 4. Step 2, square those numbers. So I'm going to have negative 2 squared, which is going to give me 4. And I'm going to have 4 squared, which is going to give me 16. Add those square numbers to the right side of the equation. Well, on the right side of the equation, I have a 5. So I'm going to take that 5 and add 4 and 16. And I'm going to get 25. Then it says take the square root. This is your radius. So the square root of 25 is 5. So again, all you're doing is taking the coefficients of x and y, dividing by 2, squaring them, and adding that to the right side of the equation. Take the square root, that gives you your radius. Let's take a look at this example problem. It says the equation of a circle is x squared plus 8x plus y squared minus 12y is equal to 144. What are the coordinates of the center and the length of the radius of the circle? So we're going to use the two strategies we just discussed to answer this question because it is a multiple choice question. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at the signs in front of the x, which is positive 8, and then a negative 12. So remember, we want the opposite. So it's going to be negative, comma, positive. So negative, comma, positive, I'm going to get rid of answer choice 1 because that's positive, comma, negative. And I'm going to get rid of answer choice 3. So again, I want the opposite, negative, comma, positive. So the next thing that we're going to have to look at is the radius. So one of the answer choices says a radius of 12, the other says a radius of 14. So remember, we're going to take the coefficient, which is 8. We're going to divide it by 2, which is 4, and then we're going to square it, which is going to give me 16. Then I'm going to take the the coefficient in front of y, which is negative 12, divided by 2, which is going to give me negative 6. Square it, and it's going to give me 36. Don't forget to add that number to what's on the right-hand side of the equation, which is 144. So it's going to be 16 plus 36 plus 144. That's going to be equal to 196. Don't forget, you have to take the square root of 196, and that's going to give you 14. So it's going to be choice 4.